All right, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is having a very good day today. My name is Marissa Ashley, and I am here today to present my designs for the new e-commerce website here at Voyager Fine Wines. I did add my contact information here on this first screen, so feel free to take note of it. I'll give you guys a moment to do so. Alrighty then. So, we're going to be starting off with some introductory remarks. Then we will be discussing who your consumer pool is and how I got there. In phase 2, I will be going over all the site content I've obtained. Phase 3 is all about site structure, so I will present to you parts of the website that I have constructed. Then I will share my findings and results from user testing I have conducted, before we have some concluding remarks. First up, we have the introduction, so let's get started. So, coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. This is a quote by Henry Ford and Edward Everett Hale, and I just wanted to point out the truth in that message. I think through our collaborations and also in your personal affairs, Voyager Fine Wines is destined for success. As we move forward into this presentation, I wanted everyone to keep this in mind. The details are not the details, they make the design. Charles Ernst definitely spoke of wisdom, especially when it came to design, saying it is important to see details as essential extra elements for the product as a whole. And back to the website. As I began designing this website, I had to take many things into consideration. This included establishing a consumer pool with parameters such as gender, age, marital status, tech savviness, etc., obtaining the actual content for the site, as well as determining what was needed or not, and paying attention to the usage and dissemination of content throughout the site, meaning what goes where. Through extensive and complete information architecture, I was able to produce a site all users are sure to enjoy. Phase 1, defining the consumer pool. First things first, who you are as a company. I know you guys sitting here are probably thinking, you don't need to know this because you work here every day. However, it is very important to understand these things before we move on to creating the consumer pool. Anyways, who you are as a company and why do you do what you do? You are a family-owned fine winery located in the heart of Winetown in California. Your ties to the company and its constituents is what really makes Voyager thrive. You truly care about the needs of your customers and work tirelessly to make their dreams come true. What things specifically, though, can we look at that set you apart? Voyager offers countless opportunities for unique options such as getting your wine delivered and having a gifting guide. But that's not all. You guys have a whole separate section for just beginners, and I know that's something beginner drinkers no doubt enjoy. You also have food pairing options like no other website I personally have seen. So how will we get to our end goal of having all of America use Voyager? It's simple. Through this updated and totally new, fresh e-commerce website. Target market summary. With the target market summary, I found 80% of all consumers to be female and 20% to be male. The majority age is around 50 and above. About 50% of females here are married and about 40% of the males are unmarried. This is key in forming your consumer pool. You have to start somewhere, and somewhere in this case is right here. With this broad scope of the potential end user, finding the right consumer pool is much easier. All right, using what we just have learned in the target market summary, we can create two gendered consumer profiles. I found that women were more likely to be aged 35 to 60, married, and struggle with tech savviness. I found that men were more likely to be aged 45 through 70, unmarried, and have tech savviness. I added tech savviness here because it will come in handy when we put the site together and develop user testing later on. Use case profiles. Use case profiles are key in forming your site. These profiles are make-believe personas with real intentions made after you have established the basic consumer pool. They will help define how we orchestrate all the content in the site. And that brings us to phase 2, the site content. Competitive analysis. Utilizing the use cases I just created, we can now see how your competitors stack up when it comes to site usability. I take the use case profile and see just how these site interactions make them feel. Does it make them angry and frustrated until leaving? Or does it speak to them and make them want to purchase product? Competitive analyses help to show negative and positive aspects of a site, which allows a vision of our future site to be seen through our competitors. You notate and pick out what from the competitor sites work and what doesn't work for your consumer pool. Overall, this is a great tool to use to rate yourselves along your competitors. Alright, so now we're getting into the bulk of everything with content inventories. Content inventories help us to plan content, pages, URLs, filters, etc. They're pretty much the base of all the information that will go into the site. Content inventories like this one here really allowed me to play around with what content should go where in the site. I wanted my inventory to display all the necessary requirements I found after completing my competitive analysis to ensure the most important information will actually be in the site. Process flow diagrams. Process flow diagrams are helpful when it comes to thinking about the journey the user themselves are going to be taking as they make their way through the site. This helps us to establish the user journey and identify pain points, as well as the overall flow of the pages so far. Process flow diagrams show importance because it is one of the first instances a user will be exposed to our site. Not only that, but knowing exactly what helps the site and what faults it so we can edit it before we move on to the content outline is very helpful. And here we have the content outline. Now that we know what works best for our users, we can use a content inventory to compile content together, define the pages, and add any necessary last-minute items. The content outline is performed in the same format the content inventory is, where you have a big spreadsheet containing all of your content. Only this time, the content that is included is the only content we need for the site. Anytime I use a content outline, I personally add a color coding system as well to make it easier to verify what works and not. One color for things we have content for, one color for things that need to be revised, and one color for brand new pages I decided were crucial after our testing so far. Alright, now we're moving on into phase 3, where we begin actually constructing the site. Site map. Here is where magic starts to happen. We have all of our content ready to go, but how can we tell what goes where? We start this process out by creating a sitemap, which is the skeleton of our website, to put it simply. The sitemap includes all drop-down menu items and navigation tools so that one can see how the most basic layout of the site will look. With a sitemap, appropriating content organization is a breeze. Sitemaps help ensure we're all on the same page, we have easy navigation, and that we're all putting users first. Wireframing. This is the most wonderful tool that saves us time. It will display the site architecture, notice website features, and identify areas of growth. This is the first step after the skeleton of our website, where we can finally see things start to come together. It's almost like creating a picture that was in your brain, and now it is the website that you guys will be receiving. Prototyping. Prototyping is a physical interaction that users can do. It can identify improvement areas, establish usability, and we can see more with drop-down menu items such as that blue sticky note on front. It's more than just the wireframes because they're a lot more detailed. Still no color though. User testing results. So why conduct user testing? So that we can test design flow via real user, help editing not mean restarting, and identify usability positives and negatives. Our results from user testing include positive response on navigation, positive response on performance, positive response on company benefits, positive response on help options, positive response on the site overall, which is what we love to see. Conclusion. All right, guys, I want to thank you for your time and attention as we work through this project and into this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. This is all I have for you today. I would like to hear back from you guys, definitely, and hear some feedback before we move forward with producing the actual site, either now or later if that works better for you. My email and phone number are on the first slide, so I can go back and put that information back up on the screen if you didn't get a chance to see it before. Thank you guys again. It was such a pleasure working with you all and your beautiful company.